Hello and good evening, our beloved viewers. It's 9 p.m. You are watching on live RTD channel. Welcome to this English news edition. Here are the major stories. The head of state presided over the ceremony entitled Language Without Borders. In Germany, 9 people were killed and 2 shootings were on the suspect found dead. Those were the headlines. Thanks for joining us in our newsroom. Like the rest of the world, the Republic of Djibouti celebrates World Mother Language Day this morning. This day placed under the high patronage of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margili, organized by the Ministry of Culture in close collaboration with Afar and Somali penned books took place at the People's Palace. The celebrations of this day reflect that the fact of the national language of Afar and Somali Pen are vectors for the preservation and development of the national heritage. They constitute a cultural and linguistic diversity for sustainable societies. National language are tools that preserve culture and promote tolerance and respect for the others. On his arrival, the number one of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margila, accompanied by the First Lady, Ms. Khadra Mohammed Hait, was welcomed by the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed and the Minister of Culture, Mr. Mumin Hassan Barre, and the President of Afar and Somali Pen. Together, the President of the Republic and the First Lady had a visit from the minister to a book stand about the language themselves. In terms of a culture, the rich basic of Afar in Somalia and linguistics novels, a collection of poems, and all written by Djibouti intellectuals and young authors. The president was welcomed by a packed room composed of members of the government and young people who has a special interest in language and multilingual education, but who are more aware of the the linguistics and cultural tradition in the world. The day was enlivened by traditional songs accompanied by dancing in the colors of diversity, mobilizing International Mother Language Day. It was for the public a promise of a travel through traditional songs, dances, music, and poetry, but also words in Somali and Afar that unite everyone to immerse themselves in the virtues of mother tongue. his speech, the president of Afro Book Club praised the achievement that the Afro Book Club witnessed according to the directives of the President of the Republic. He adds that great efforts have been made to upgrade the mother tongue in the Republic of Djibouti and to promote local Afro and Somali language. In a speech, the president of Somali Book also praised Mr. Ismail Hussein Tani. He expressed his happiness to participate in this valuable garlic and said, "Today we celebrate the International Day of Mother Language, similar to the rest of the world, where they all celebrated this occasion." He also said experts in the field of promoting the mother tongue and education participate in the organization of this event, stressing the importance of language and education and the importance of language in the life of society. As usual, the Minister of Cultural Goods, Mr. Mumin Hassan Barre, federated the population around this celebration of February 21, the mother tongue. He said, being on the one that the best illustrate our cultural identity, it must be continuously valued but above all to be perpetuated according to this value over all generation. He also said, and we went on and saying that the most reliable ways to promote tolerance among people is to work to preserve the difference in culture and language that foster respect for others. He said this is a great day, a great celebrating in the mother tongue to confirm the necessity of preserving this cultural wealth and pushing the participant to work hard and with dedication to advance our cultural identity. This occasion is the political desire to support this approach, which systems from President is keenness to enhance the position of the mother language and enable them to contribute effectively to the regional national cultural movement. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margile, gave a clear speech at the outset of the importance of strengthening the effort made to upgrade the mother tongue. Details in this report.
عفرفت نما عنقرد أدحليو إنا أفي أي روح عالم العفيدلة مسكدلة نبادو الكادو قبوتي أيون تاو إنا أف أكتوبر كويساي بريتا عندك كدي تدليساي درحساي قد جايه waxaan hambalyo iyo bogaadin u jeedinayaa intii soo qaban qaabisay xafladani quruxda badan ee hor.
At the outset, I would like to thank the experts, scholars, and organizers who made it possible for these working days to come to an end. During these days, their aim was to work together and to dust off our languages so that they can be revived and breathe a touch of renewal. Recently, the Afar and Somali pen has been habitating for reasons of, I would say, at the election of the new presidents. Today, I would like to say a few words to conclude these 2 days of discussions. This concerted action today reflects the efforts undertaken by the intellectuals of Afar and Somali pen in recent years for their remarkable work. Secondly, on this International Mother Language Day, I would like to congratulate the people of Djibouti and the people of this region and of the world that shares Somali and Afar. Fortunately, Afar and Somali are two regional languages. They are the knots that bind all the Afar and Somali people in the part of the world, and that is a part of the importance of our two languages. Every language has a price that cannot be estimated, and the people who speak that language is the symbol of recognition of a nation. A language is the barrier of knowledge. It is the instrument that allows us to exchange, to consult, to advise each other, that allows people who live in the same place to practice thanks to this tool. It is the only link that can keep community and knowledge together. It is a document that archives the history of our people, whether it be in terms of history, songs that are passed on from generation to generation. If you lose the use of your mother tongue, it means that you have lost all the notion and value that form the basis of your identity, and you cannot compete with neighboring nations that have privileged and kept it as precious. If we keep and do not pass on our languages and values, our children and their grandchildren will be and remain without history, without culture, without identity, will be those who do not know where to go. It is here today that the importance of the mother language lies essentially through the timeless proudly chanted by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, which is unity in diversity. In 1999, UNESCO believed in the importance of language diversity for sustainable societies. It is within its mandate for peace that it works to preserve the differences in culture and languages that promote tolerance and respect for others. And that is why we are gathered here today.
In the second part of his speech, His Excellency Ismail Margile stressed the importance and value of the mother tongue, which is reflected in the community. Let's listen once again to the head of state.
waxaa cilmi baadhis lagu ogaaday in 50 sano gudahood ay dhiman doonaan boqolkiiba 50 luqadaha adduunka ka jira.
Scientific research has proven that in 50 years, almost half of the language in the world will disappear. In fact, a language disappears on average every 2 weeks, taking with it a whole cultural and intellectual heritage that can be found or recovered. We have continued our efforts to encourage people to learn their mother tongues, to free the elderly and then the young from ignorance. We have motivated and encouraged young people who can speak and write in their mother tongues. You have probably seen their books which are on display at the stand outside. It is difficult for the writers who share their thoughts with us that no one or less people buy their works because of the emergence in technological YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook, etc., and so on are bustling into everyone's daily lives. Social networks today make people lose the ability to read works, and if once reading disappears, the mother tongue disappears. This is why we have put all our efforts into helping all those who publish works and have difficulty selling them. I would like to pay tribute to the people who have done an exemplary job translating the Quran into Afar. There is a lot to be done. The work is not yet finished. We have opened a language institute with the CERD to enrich our languages or to make them evolve so that they do not disappear. The work is not finished yet. There is still a lot to do, and we are always at your side. Thank you very much.
na waxaan leenahay garabkiina ayaan taagannahay hawsha waan isla wadaynaa waxaanan idin rajaynaynaa guul. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
A delegation from Djibouti, led by the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, traveled to Cairo to participate in the conference on accelerating learning held in Egypt on 13 and 14 February. 15 countries from the MENA region and Africa were represented. The opening day of the forum was animated by a screening presentation and panels, including the minister's senior official from the Ministry of Education, expert in education and information and communication technologies. Various files of education were analyzed, including the questions of accelerating learning and the challenges facing the countries. And also, the Minister of Education of Djibouti highlighted the human capability that the Republic of Djibouti considered to be its greatest asset. He also said he was open to any collaboration with his African and peers, so as centers of interest and challenges are common. On the sidelines of the conference, Wednesday, 12 February, was an opportunity for all ministerial delegation to visit 2 schools in Cairo, where the new 2.0 reform of Egyptian education system described a pedagogical transformation is being implemented, and where students are learning how to use new technologies. Within the framework of a participation of the next Djibouti-Saudi Joint Commission, the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Djibouti to the United Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Excellency Mr. Dialdin Said Bamakrama, was received in audience by His Excellency Engineer Abdurrahman Al Fadi, Ministers of Environment, Waters and Agriculture in Saudi Arabia. Discussion focused on bilateral relation between the two brotherly countries in the file of environment, and in particular the follow-up and updating of a memorandum of understanding recently signed in Riyadh between the Saudi ministers and his Djibouti counterpart, the Minister of Urban Planning, Technical Cooperation in exchange of water experiences, as well as the export of livestock from Djibouti to Saudi Arabia, were among the main points of discussion between the ambassador and the Saudi minister. During this meeting, which took place at the ministry's office, the ambassador was accompanied by the consular at the embassy, Mr. Zakaria Hussein Ahmed. The minister was surrounded by several collaborators of his department. The Ministry of Communication, in charge of Post and Telecommunication, organized yesterday, in collaboration with the World Bank, of a workshop for reflection and knowledge sharing on the reforms of the digital sectors at the People's Palace, shared by the Secretary General for the Ministry of Communication, Mr. Ahmed Yusuf Almi. A workshop was attended by the resident representative of the World Bank, senior executive of Djibouti Telecom in the ministry, with the participation of international experts. A strong delegation from the World Bank groups led by the resident representative, Mr. Boubacar Sid Bari, representatives of the international company, attend this exchange alongside members of the ministry and Djibouti Telecom. The discussion were focused on the relevant and necessity applicable reforms to ensure the gradual evolutions of the telecommunication sector toward a promising future, as well as on the effective establishment of an independent, transparent, impartial, and accountable ministerial, multi-sectorial, regulatory authorities. In his speech, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Communications said that the objectives of this workshop was to build on the steps taken on the continent and elsewhere to build a safe and secure digital society. The government is enlightened vision encourage strategy direction in this sector to strengthen our country's strategy position. The Ministry of Women and Family, in collaboration with the National Union of Djibouti Women, organized yesterday at the headquarters of the UNFD a workshop on the popularizations of gender studies. This workshop, shared by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Women and Family, Ms. Anissa Hassan Badon, was attended by all genders focal pointed of various sectorial ministries. During this workshop, 3 studies and a national reports were present, namely the discussion were fruitful, the participants were satisfied with the various presentation, which includes supporting figures. The workshop intend with the promises of uniting effort to achieve the desired objectives. In a speech, the Secretary General for the Ministry of Women and Family, Ms. Anissa Hassan Bahdon, during this workshop to circulate studies on gender, she presented at the outset thanks and gratitude to the participating in this session. Ms. Anissa Hassan also spoke about the accomplishment achieved in the file of literacy, preserving women's right and achieving equality in the file of health, especially for Djiboutian women, adding that this workshop is primarily concerned with the studies related to the development of women, especially Djiboutian women. She noted that the ministry is making no effort to combat female circumstances and also to promote maternal education. And still on national news, in the context of enhancing the educational and practical capability of industrial and commercial high schools students and to vocational training center high schools and center students made a file visit outside the educational environment and in order to apply the knowledge they receive in the school classes in the ground. The students who exceeded 160 students are accompanied by a technically and educationally qualified teaching staff with the aim of raising students' technical skills in the field of constructions and electricity and to provide students with all the opportunity that enables them to overcome the difficulties and apply the educational they teach and the preparation for any profession in the field of construction and electricity. These and students acquire professional skill in the other file, including workers' rights and duties, risk management, problem solving, or time management with the support of organization that accompany the students. As part of a fight against smuggling in all its form, the judicial units of gendarmerie constantly ensure the preservation of the country's economy. In this context, during the day of February 19, the gendarmerie of the whole region brigade, in collaboration with the custom agents, intercept vehicles of a brand Toyota Land Cruiser on the national roads, number one, more precisely at the level of the district commonly called the TPA. This search carried out in the vehicles led to the discovery of a 05 large package containing to a total of 160 package of smuggled cats. The market value of this size or amount of 160,000. In the wake of this operation, the gendarmes of these units were able to find the perpetrators of the alleged act who was taken into custody. The latter will be brought to the justice to answer for his action. In addition, the High Command of the Gendarmerie has informed the population that the gendarmes will spare no effort day and night to deal with this type of trafficking, which is seriously damaging to the country's economy. In order to be operational and deployable to any time wherever the need arises, it is essential that the members be physically fit. This is why the sport and physical activities play an important role in the life of military personnel and condition their physical and moral fitness. After 3 months of preparation, the IDF Sport Office organized the first 10 kilometer mass of crosses for the year 2020. This individual competition for the race for this first place saw the participation of all corps of formations of the Djibouti gendarmes. A total of 9 corps took part in the mass cross, which includes more than 2,000 soldiers of all ranks. The starting point of the race was given by Lieutenant General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, Chief of the General Staff of the Army Forces, at the first light on the sun. This race was divided into two categories. The men competed over a distance of 10 kilometers, while the distance for female army personnel was 5 kilometers. To finish this was the square near the major primary schools. At the end of water and food supplies were provided to allow the runners to recharge their battery and to restart the race. Moving on to the international scenes, in Germany, 9 people were killed Wednesday evening in the two shooting targeting in bars in central Germany. Details in this report.
9 people were killed Wednesday evening in 2 shootings targeting shisha bars in Hanau, central Germany. A probably xenophobic crime whose alleged perpetrator was found dead Thursday morning at his home. A spokesman told AFP that the German Federal Prosecutor Office, which is responsible for counterterrorism, has taken charge of the investigation and has evidence of xenophobic motives, a spokesman told AFP. According to sources close to the investigation, a letter of confession and a video has been found. According to Peter Norman, a specialist in terrorism at King's College London, it is a 24-page manifesto showing hatred of foreigners and non-whites.
This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.